Let's see. All right, perfect. So we are recording. Yay. Thank you guys for joining us live. And if you're watching the recording, thank you so very much. Today we are on our monthly group call. So please mark them down so that you remember. I did not remind everybody until this morning since I've been traveling. So it is the second Tuesday of every month will be our training call. And it's at 6:30 Mountain Time, which is 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 Eastern. So thank you guys for joining us. And tonight, as always, I want it to be interactive. So if you have something you want to say or add to what I'm saying, I would greatly appreciate it because we are better together, right? I don't feel like, obviously, I only can tell you so many things, but you guys do your own things, and I think that's awesome. And the more we share, the better off we all are. So at any time you need to interrupt, just speak up because I may not see you. I try not to look at the screen because I get distracted. So I may not see you, but definitely interrupt any point in time if you have some questions or want to add anything. I really want to talk about obstacles because here we are coming into the summer months, and the summer months don't have to be slow. It's only slow if you make it slow. So if you prepare yourself, and you not just with things that you have to prepare yourself with, you have to prepare yourself with your mental preparedness. Because when you think that things are going to be slow and things are going to be bad, then you know what? That's what's going to happen. But when you have a positive mindset and you tell yourself, I am going to rock Scentsy this summer. I am going to earn the incentive trip to Cancun. I am going to do this. You're giving yourself that positive mantra, and that helps so very much with our business. I know it sounds so silly, and I say it all the time, but saying positive mantras help so much with our mental well-being. So I'm going to talk to you guys about several obstacles that I've heard recently with some of our team members, and I want to talk to you about how to overcome them. And the biggest obstacle that we face is always ourselves, right? Do you guys agree that we are our worst nightmares? We're the ones that stop ourselves from doing so much. So I want you to paint a mental picture. Before you hit the floor, I want you to decide to invest. Hey, Jean, I want you to decide to invest in your success for the day, right? So it's summer. I want to hang out with my kids. I want to play in the pool. We did this morning. I worked for an hour this morning. Then we got in the pool, and now I'm working again this evening. And then we'll do the same thing again tomorrow. The good thing is I can be flexible in this business. But before I even start the day, I have to decide to invest in my business, in my success. And I have to tell myself that things are going to be I'm going to be successful. We are truthfully the only ones that are in control of our own success. We can blame Scentsy. We can blame our customers. We could blame that it's summer, no one wants to buy. We could blame a lot of things, but ultimately we are the only ones that are in control of our success. So what you need to do is you need to set a goal of what you want to accomplish that day. So for example, today I knew I needed to accomplish my week 1 that I have on my follow-up and connection, because quite frankly, today is the 12th of the month, and I have been out of town since the end of May, and I had a lot of work today, and I could easily get overwhelmed, but I didn't. I just said, I'm going to get this, and this done. If I get anything else done, then that's extra. But I set a goal for myself to accomplish it, and I am not going to stop until I finish everything I set out to do that day. Because honestly, tomorrow never comes, right? We always say, oh, well, it's okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. But if you push yourself and make it happen, you will make it happen. But you have to remember why you're doing this. Sometimes we lose track of that why. We lose track of that passion. And you've got to get that done in order to really truthfully hone in on the tasks that you have set in front of you. And I talked about it when we first started, is have that positive I can attitude. That makes all the difference in the world. Once you get past yourself, it's easier to overcome the other objections. Another objection that I hear them a lot is, how do I close, like, how do I actually get somebody to sign up? I've talked to people, I share the opportunity, but I can't get anyone to just say, okay, I'm going to do it, right? You've answered all their questions and they're just hesitant. Problem is getting people to commit. So for whatever reason, you just can't seem to alleviate those fears that they have. And honestly, that is a lot of times why people don't join, is because they have a fear. They have a fear of not being successful. They don't want to, a lot of times, and you don't have to raise your hand, I'm not going to call you out on it, but I'm going to tell you, I can promise you I have set my goals very low at times because I don't want to fail. I want to give myself that out. I want to give myself that excuse that it's okay. So if I set a low goal that I know I'm going to accomplish, I'm not doing myself any good. I'm not challenging myself. So your new team members or potential team members feel the same way. They want to either, they don't want to commit to joining because they might be fearful of the unknown. They might be fearful that they're not going to be successful. Whatever it is that's getting them from taking the leap to actually joining. Okay. Hey, Carrie.
Hi there.
Hey there. No, you're good. Okay, so start a seed book. I have to apologize again for those of you just coming in. I don't know if I have allergies going on or if I'm getting sick, but I'm kind of feeling Okay, so start a seed book, and I want you to put every single name of the in this book of people that you talk to. I'm just going to mute you guys so that we don't have any background noise. There we go. Okay, so if you want to chime in, please unmute yourself, okay? So every single person gets their own page in this notebook. Go to the dollar store, buy just a, it doesn't even have to be an 8.5 by 10. It could just be, a 5 by 7 type of a notebook. Buy a notebook, and every single person that you've talked to about the opportunity gets their own personal page. That is their page, right? Then on that page, you're going to put in their name and the date and every single time that you have followed up with them. Because I know that 9 times out of 10, people are not going to join on the first conversation. You got to keep following up with them. And then what happens is we feel like we're bothering them, which we are not. We're just trying to get them all their questions answered. And sometimes you have to find a balance. You don't want to call them every day. At first, you want to stay on top of them, maybe give them a couple of days, and then maybe go to a week, whatever. And it's different in every situation. But the key is to never stop following up with them, because I've had people that I've talked to for years, actually, that have finally joined. And it's not because I'm pressuring them. It's just that every now and then, and it typically happens during a join special, I will re-follow up with them and just let them know, hey, maybe you're ready to take the plunge, but we have a Sensi Go that you can get for free if you join this month, right? It's easy to start a conversation when you have that. That's a perfect time to follow up. So when you have this seed book and you write down everybody's name on a separate piece of paper, and then you write down the date and when you followed up with them, whether it's a postcard that you've sent them, a phone call, a text message, Facebook message, whatever, write the type of communication you had, and then write down if they've communicated with you back. Because sometimes we communicate, and then we never hear back from them, and we kind of forget that we haven't heard back from them. So make sure when they respond back that you actually write that in your seed book too. Now, there's only 2 ways that you can get out of my seed book. One is if you tell me to quit bothering you or quit stalking you. I'm never going to be interested. Then you know what? You're ripped out. And that's why another reason I have it on a separate page, because I like to keep clean and neat. So I just rip it out, throw it away. That's it. The other way to get out of my seed book is by joining my team. So I let people know that. I let them know I'm going to follow up with you until you either tell me to not or that you join. And of course, I'm not going to bug you every day or every week, just like we talked about. But take your seed book with you everywhere you go, especially this summer. It gets busy. You're at pools. You're hanging out with the kids. Some of you work other jobs. But when you have it and you have an extra 5 or 10 minutes, make your follow-up calls. Maybe you're using the Maven app. This is fabulous too. I just posted a video that Jason Harwood did about using Maven to follow up with your sponsoring conversations, because it'll actually remind you in your phone. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you can get so much accomplished. When I was at the airport, I was just sending some follow-up messages when I finally got back into the States, because what else am I going to do with an hour? I may as well be productive, right? So when we're creative with our time, it's very helpful. I want you guys to call that person that's like this close to joining your team and invite them for coffee. Genuinely listen to their reservations. If they're fearful, help them overcome that fear. If they just feel like they're not salesy, talk to them about that. We don't have to sell our product. We're sharing. We're changing lives. We're helping people through fragrance, through the business, through friendships, through connections. There's a lot of ways that Scentsy has helped people, and that's what you're there to do. So make sure you're helping them overcome their objections and their reservation. Offer words of encouragement. There's no need to pressure them, right? We don't want anybody on our team who genuinely does not want to be on our team, and they don't want to join just to shut you up, right? Let's not be that person. You have to remember timing is everything with them. If I would have joined when my mom first told me about Scentsy, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today. I think it had to be on my timing, when I was ready, when my kids were at an age where I could actually work and get out of the house a little bit. Really is, timing makes a world of difference. So I'm glad that the Scentsy kept getting brought back up into my life, because when I was ready, I took that plunge. So if you don't keep putting this opportunity in front of them, what's going to happen is somebody's going to talk to them about Jamboree, and then they're going to talk to them about Jamboree again, and then Jamboree again, and then you know what's going to happen? Scensy's going to be forgotten, and they're going to join Jamboree. You know, I'm just giving you that as an example. So you're really not bothering them. Change your mindset a little bit. People want to work with people that they trust and that they feel comfortable with. So sometimes this takes time to build that relationship, to build that trust. It takes a little bit of time. So you're just planting seeds. I've always used this analogy that the more seeds you plant, then the better your business will thrive. And think about your garden. When you plant seeds, they don't all grow. You have to plant a lot of seeds, and you have to water them, and they need sunlight, and then some need shade, and some need more nurturing than others. You got to talk to them. But eventually, some of those seeds will start to sprout. But they're not going to sprout if you talk to one person and they didn't want to join and you don't talk to anybody else. Well, that's not going to get you very far. So you want to plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds everywhere you go. And then share, don't sell. Don't try to convince people to join. When you look desperate, people can tell. Share how much fun you're having. Post about it. I just shared a ton of stuff about my trip, and I had people posting that don't normally post. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them an opportunity packet and say, hey, you know what? I know you were loving watching my journey because you said so. If you've ever thought about doing what I do, here's a packet, no obligation, just something to think about. Let's set up a chat so I can answer any of your questions, right? But sometimes when I post on my page, you know, just kind of generically like, hey, is anybody interested in, if you've ever thought about joining Scentsy, let me know, I'll send you an opportunity packet. 9 times out of 10, people aren't just going to jump up and say, me, you know. Sometimes they do, don't get me wrong. But if you just start sending mailers to people, it doesn't really cost you that much. Start sending them little cute bubble mail or fun mail with information about the Scentsy opportunity. And just, you know, you could even just, if you don't know their address, if they're just a Facebook friend, you could just say, hey, you know what, Jean, I would love to send you something for being so interactive with my cruise posts. If you don't mind, give me your address. You don't have to tell them you're sending an opportunity packet or a think about it packet or whatever kind of packet you call it. Just get their address and send it to them. And then again, remember to follow up. Was it not ready? Darn it. We're instant potting tonight, and we're trying a new something or other, and it wasn't done. It's called trial and error here, babies.
It's the rice.
The rice. Oh, see, we did 2 in 1. My first time doing that. Okay. So anyway, be creative with how you interact with people. And remember that it does take time, just like a garden, to build that relationship. And stay positive. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard when life throws things at you and you're just struggling. Try to keep that off Facebook. Try to keep Facebook positive, because you never know who's watching you. And when you start throwing negative stuff left and right, you're going to turn people off so fast. Negativity breeds negativity. So your negative post might get 100 comments, but your positive post might get none. So you want to make sure you're keeping it positive. And if you need to vent, call me, call your upline, call anybody, but just, or text somebody. But try to keep that stuff off Facebook, because again, you just never know who is watching. And be consistent. The more consistently you're planting your seeds, the better your garden is going to grow. I can't tell you enough. You can't talk to one person and expect that person to join, and then you only have one person to talk to. And if you're running out of people to talk to, then it's time for you to look into doing an event, to doing a fundraiser, to doing more parties, to going out talking to people on the streets and getting, just building new contacts. This business is all about that. It's just getting back to the basics and just building new contacts. There's a lot of ways to do that, but you need to have way more than one person on your seed book. I want to see your seed book filled up, because that's what's going to be helpful to you, especially come the fall. If you can start planting seeds now, your fall is going to be amazing, amazing. And when discussing the business opportunity, you don't necessarily have to impress people. You just have to relate to them. And maybe you can't relate with their story, but something that Carrie does, and I think Jessica does, maybe Jean, you do it too. Something that I know that Carrie does is she puts in her opportunity packet reasons why people have joined, like people on her team have joined Scentsy, because maybe your story doesn't resonate with them, but someone else on the team might. And that will impress people when you can relate to them, or when someone on the team has had similar situations and you can help to relate that. Learn what aspect in their life they'd most like to change, and then relate with them on how this opportunity can change that for them, either through your own experiences or through teammates' experiences. And when the time comes to discuss the starter kit, you don't have to sell them on the kit alone, because then what happens is they're going to be a kidnapper. They're going to take the kit and they may or may not work. But if you're just selling them on how amazing the kit is, or you're just selling them on you can get a Scentsy Go for free this month, 9 times out of 10, they are not going to stick. We want to recruit people that are going to stay, that are going to work their business. And so you've got to sell them on the idea that they can do it. Most times, again, it goes back to that fear I was talking about at the beginning, is if people think they can't do it, they're not going to do it. So the kit could be fabulous and they just aren't successful because they're just thinking about how much they cannot do it, but they loved the kit, so they joined, right? Give them encouragement, give them motivation. You don't have to go through and tell them all about the shooting star and the being certified and getting their 70-day and all this other stuff. That stuff can all happen after they've joined. But before they join, motivate them, encourage them, inspire them to know that they can do it. People are fearful they're going to fail. So the more genuinely you tell them that they're going to be great at it, and the more that you tell them you're going to be there to help them, then they may start to put their walls down and eventually join. Some people it takes longer than others, and that's okay. But if you just tell them that they would be amazing at doing what you do, it gives them a compliment. And when you end it with a question, you may be surprised with the results. So how you can kind of close the deal is make sure you end with a question or an action item, right? One thing I love to do is when I go into a store or a restaurant and somebody has an amazing personality, I will tell them, I'll say, you know what, you have such a great personality. I would love to have you on my team. I didn't tell myself Scentsy. I didn't do anything. The next thing that most people are going to say is, oh, your team, well, what do you do? Oh, nice that you asked. I am a Scentsy consultant, and I love to help people all around the world with fragrance and with building businesses and with building connections. And so you see, if I've given them lots of opportunities, it's not just about money. So if they're thinking, well, I already have a job and I don't have any time. Well, if you start saying connections and community and things like that, then something may be relatable to them, and they may say, oh, wow, community, I could really use some connections with this, situation. Make friends with people. I love to talk to people, and I love to talk even more about my Scentsy business. So make sure you're sharing the opportunity everywhere you go this summer, every single place you go. I even brought, and I put it away, but I even brought with me, because those of you that don't know, I don't stay home for the summer. I travel. And so I'm at my mom's for the next 3.5 weeks. And then I'll be home for a week, and then we'll go to Scentsy family reunion. So I had to pack before I left on my trip. I packed laundry samples. I brought scent circles. I brought wax samples. I brought a lot of stuff, because my mission is always selling Scentsy. I'm going to be a lot of places this summer, more places than I am on a normal basis, because I homeschool. I'm always at home. So now the summer is my opportunity to meet new people and bring them along. I want to help change people's lives in this process. So make sure you're building connections and always being prepared in everything you do. And it comes more naturally the more you do it. So plant that garden and start your seeds. Before I move on to the next topic, are there any questions or comments on that? All right, we shall move on. Oh, I forgot. Stop talking and listen. We tend to talk a lot. Right here, guilty by charge. I talk a lot, but sometimes I forget to listen. And if I'm not listening, I'm having a hard time knowing how Scentsy can fit in their life, right? They have to make that decision. You just have to help coerce them to make sure that they know that Scentsy is the right opportunity for them. All right, let me just check my notes, because I never stay on my notes. Oh, so I did forget to mention that you always want to end it with a question, because then that opens the door for them to start talking and you to kind of be quiet. Can I have a Kleenex, please? Mm-hmm. Sorry. So you could say something like, what would your biggest goal be if you decided to do something like this? Or what would you do with the extra cash? Or when is the last time that you were able to get out of the house and make money? Right? These are all questions that you could ask, and it helps them. It's kind of a conversation starter as well. Giving someone every single detail about our business may actually scare people away. You guys, they might get overwhelmed by giving them way too much information. So again, stop and listen to them. Don't overcomplicate it. And another thing is, get out of your house. Just like I was telling you, I'm always in my house during the school year, because it's really hard for me to get out while I'm schooling. So if now that I'm out, I'm sharing. So make sure that you are doing the same thing. All right. Sorry. I'm feeling kind of yucky. Make sure that you are getting involved in, now school's ending, but if you're getting involved in your children's school, that's a great way to meet people. Volunteering activities, that's another great way to meet people. Recruiting opportunities and meeting new customers are everyday occurrences. Challenge yourself to do that every single day that you get out of the house, is to add somebody to your contact list. So if you're using Maven, you'll see that you can have a choice to add share the Scentsy opportunity, or find a new, I forget how they call it, but find a new customer or something like that, or add a new contact. So utilize the tools that we have in front of us and make sure that you're challenging yourself every single time. All right. Another thing is, just ask. It really is that simple. If you meet someone that you gravitate toward, you simply ask them again, wow, I just love you. You have such a positive attitude. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? you'd be amazing at it. You can do that at a party. Again, do it at a grocery store. You just never know who will join your team. So don't prejudge. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again because just in case you haven't heard this yet. But one fun way that I found to get people's contact information without sounding too creepy is to tell them that I would love for them to take my contact information in case they may know of somebody else or they themselves may be interested in the opportunity. And by using that line too, that maybe you take the pressure off them, that maybe they're not interested, but they may know somebody that's interested. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yes, okay, sure, I'll take your information. They're not going to turn it down very often. So when they say, yes, I'll take your information, you can tell them, I'm going green with my business, so let me have your phone number so I can text you my business card. And then bam, there you go. They have your information, and now you have their phone number. You can also ask to add them on Facebook. I even take around with me the raffle forms, and I tell everybody that I've met that month that I do a monthly drawing with all my new customers, and I put them in a raffle to do a scent of the month bar. So there's a lot of ways that you can get people's contact information. But again, it's crucial that you get people's contact information because it's your business. You have to follow up with them. They're not going to follow up with you most likely. You're going to leave that situation and they're going to feel all warm and fuzzy because you've just made them happy. But then they're going to get busy at work or they're going to get home and life hits and they're not going to remember to call you. Or they're not going to remember that they may have wanted more information. But when you call them back, then they're most likely to, you're starting to build that relationship, okay? So next objection that I hear often is, I'm struggling to get my name out there. My customer base is small, or my customers are all local, or there's a lot of consultants in my area, right? Hear this a lot, and they don't consistently order from me. Well, when you have a small database of people, they can only order every so often. They're not going to want to order Scentsy every month. They might, but you're not going to find a ton of people that are willing to order Scentsy every month. So the more customers you have, the better off your business is going to be in the long run. So work on expanding your list of 100. Okay. Get online, get in social media, get on forums, share your expertise. Don't spam, but share with people. Share your positive attitude. If you don't have anything that you can think of to post, find a motivational quote or something. Be inspirational. People will want to follow you on social media when you are inspirational and you have fun things to share. Maybe you've earned an award. Maybe you've gotten a postcard that I've sent you that you were in the top 10 for the month. Share that. Share, a trip that you've gone on. Even if it's not an incentive trip, share a trip that you've gone on. Share that you're working your business on the go. Share your kids at the pool while you're just passing out samples. I mean, these are real life things that people want to see rather than just flyers. People are watching you. And I've learned that because I've seen people that have posted on my posts that don't normally comment. So I know they see my posts, but they're just not very interested in what I have to post about until I go on a trip or something fun, right? So that just makes me realize, again, that people are watching you. The more positive things you're posting, the less flyer and salesy things you're posting, the better. There's a lot of ways we can sell Scentsy without posting flyers and just, hey, I'm putting in an order tonight. If you need anything, let me know. That's so impersonal, right? Post the moments in your life. That's what people want to see. Follow up with customers that have placed an order recently. Ask them how they're enjoying their products and see if they have any questions. Encourage them to host their own show or maybe even learn about the business opportunity. You should be asking every single person about the opportunity and about hosting a party. So when I went to Summit, they flipped it around. Normally what we do is we ask people to buy Scentsy. Then we ask them to host, and last we ask them to join. If you flip that around and you ask them to join first, if they tell you no, okay, ask them if they'd be wanting to host a party. They tell you no, most people aren't going to tell you no a third time, so they'll probably buy something from you. So you flip it around and start offering everybody the opportunity before you even ask them for a sale. Ask people for referrals. This is a great way to build your customer base. People know people, but they're not just going to forego all their contacts unless you ask them. And of course, they're not going to give you their contacts if they don't trust you. So you've got to provide good customer service to them. You've got to be reliable so that they're wanting to give you the referrals. And there really is no magic in that. You just have to ask. When you're making follow-up calls, have something special to offer. Be excited about the host rewards and the specials that are going on, just like we've got the join special, just like we've got all these summer collections. Be excited about them. Because if you're not excited about them, your customers sure as heck are not going to be excited about them. If we get a new buddy, it's our job to contact our customers. It's not our customer's job to find it on Facebook and hope that they see it. No, text them, call them, private message them if they have kids. This is part of our business. Be proactive. You can't just sit there on Facebook and expect your customers to see every single post. When you're excited, they're going to be excited. When you sound like you're simply going through the motions and like, oh, we got a new Scentsy buddy, placing an order tonight, let me know if you need anything. That doesn't sound very exciting, right? I don't love that. That's just like, I'm just going through the motions. I have to post this because it just came out new. I don't love it, so probably none of my customers are going to love it, right? We've all said that before. And you gotta fake it till you make it, right? Put on a smiley face, tell them you love it. Put it out there. This is why we have over 80 fragrances, because you never know. I've hated some scents that have been very popular with a lot of my customers, like Midnight Fig. I just had a customer that bought that Midnight Fig while it was on clearance, and I was like, you like that stuff? I think it's disgusting. So just don't prejudge people. You never know what they like or what they're not going to like. You can't assume just based on your taste that that's what they're going to like. Check into local trade shows. This is a great time to do some local trade shows, a home show, something inexpensive. It doesn't have to be huge, guys. A little craft fair. I've even done health fairs at a school before that have been a free booth. They just want people in there to give them information. So if you can't find an event, make your own. Call your buddies. Call 31 Consultant. Call Stella and Dot, whatever friends you have that have direct selling business. Have them put something together. They're bringing their customers, you're bringing your customers, and everybody's intermingling. And that is a great way, again, for you to meet new contacts. Host a Facebook party and encourage guests to invite at least 5 people that you don't know. This is growing your business. 5 people you don't know from every single guest. Give them a small prize. You can't say that on Facebook, but give them a small prize. That's going to help you build your customer base. After offering customers a small discount or a prize for referring new customers your way, if that floats your boat. Just a suggestion. You don't have to do it. You can even offer it doesn't have to be a thing that you want to give them. It could be a coupon for their next order, or it could be anything. Attend local networking meetings. So you can find like through your Chamber of Commerce, a lot of them have it's like speed dating, but for businesses, and you go and you give a 30-second commercial and you listen to everybody else. And then at the end, you kind of mingle. Those events are a lot of fun. BNI networks, if you have, most likely you have that in your area as well. So look into your local Chamber of Commerce and find out different ways that different networking events, even find on Facebook different networking events as well. Teach people about the safety and the benefits of Scentsy. That's also very helpful. Fundraise. I've got a lot of new customers and new parties and a couple of team members from fundraisers. So that's a whole topic for another day, but that's another great way for you to get out of your circle of influence of people and meeting new people. Send regular correspondence to your customers, whether it be the newsletter, which Scentsy already does this for you, as long as you have the email address attached to your account, the correct one. I'm sorry, their email address. Then they'll get the newsletter every single month. So make sure you customize your newsletter. You have until, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, I think the 3rd or the 4th, I think you have the 4th of every month to customize your newsletter. Does everyone know how to do that, or you need me to show you real quick? Okay. You know? Yeah. Okay, of course you do. So yeah, customize it, because especially if they have other Scentsy consultants in their in their contacts, and maybe they've filled out a form at an event from another consultant, and if they get multiple newsletters, they're just going to be like, that's so impersonal. But if they get yours and it has not a handwritten, but it has a written letter, not the generic Scentsy one, you can even offer a personal special, because that's going to your customers in their inbox. I'm so sorry. I've done that from time to time. But personalize it. Make it yours. Own it. Scentsy does this for us. Mail postcards or flyers for the warmer of the month. That's another great way to build your customer base. Send out emails or text messages to your customers. Educate yourself on online marketing. This is very helpful. There's a lot of blogs out there that offer networking tips and information. I'm still learning. I am not a internet guru. I am definitely not a social media guru, but these are kinds of things that have helped me to learn a little bit more. That and networking with other people that have helped me understand a little bit more how social media works. It really is important that you're out there and you're posting and that you are connecting with people. That's very, very helpful. Make sure you're carrying your business cards around, and every time an opportunity arises, you hand out your business card, preferably with a wax sample. And again, don't just hand them out. Ask for their information. Make it a point to call people from your list of 100 every single day. Those are your prospects. So whether you spend 10 minutes on your business or 30 minutes on your business or an hour on your business, make sure you are contacting those people on your I'm sorry, I got so sidetracked. Make sure you're doing follow-ups and you're asking for referrals, okay? And be clear what you're asking for. When you're asking for a referral, make sure that you are very clear about a referral. So here's something I wrote down that you can, a little example of what you can say. So it says, Terry, I'm so happy that you love your Scentsy products. Validate that, of course, before that she loves her Scentsy products. You don't want her to be like, oh, I really hated Midnight Fig. Before you should have already had a conversation with her that she likes her Scentsy products. I've built my business on referrals, or you can say I plan on building my business for referrals if you're new. Like most of my customers, I'm sure that you have friends that would love Scentsy too. Who do you know that enjoys Scentsy? I'd really appreciate the referrals. And then you have to take control of the referral and say, Terry, the best way for me to share the information with your friends is to contact them directly. Then as you talk to them, please tell them that you'll have your friend Kelly call, or Trinity or Carrie or whatever. And then just send me their contact information. I'd really appreciate it. And then you can even offer them, again, if you want and it works for your business, you can offer them something for helping you with referrals. You can give them a gift certificate. You can give them a free bar. You can do anything that's up to you. But if you can help, you can give them an incentive for giving you a referral if you want. You do not have to. Another thing is, if you're struggling, you've really got to revisit your goals. Find out what's working. Is your goal that you're working toward now really truly is it the same goal that you had when you started? Is it different? As we progress in life, our why changes, our goals change. So it's really important to focus every 6 months. It is a good idea to reevaluate your life, your business, where you want to go, where you've come from, how you've gotten there. Celebrate your successes, plan out your failures so that you cannot run into that again, but really just have this heart-to-heart with yourself. And I find I always typically do it during the summer because I finally have a little bit more time to myself. So I evaluate it during the summer, and I also do it again right at the beginning of the new year. Those are my 2 times that I work on evaluating my business, seeing what's worked. Am I working too hard and not getting results? These are the things that you don't want to do. So if you're doing that, it's not time to say I quit. It's time to say, okay, I'm going to reevaluate on what I could do differently. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry. I feel so yucky. Is there any questions so far? Comments? All right. Another obstacle I hear is that, yeah, you know what? I'm going to skip that one because I just looked and we have like 10 minutes. Okay. I talked about this at the beginning, but smile. Have a positive mindset. That really makes a huge difference. I worked at a temporary agency, not my first job, but one of my very first jobs. And it was funny because I was a receptionist at the front desk, and I would answer the phone, and the owner would come up and say, "You need to smile when you're on the phone." And I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. They can't see me, but whatever. And she always would tell me that, make sure you smile because they can tell if you're smiling or not on the other end. And I agree. When you answer the phone, you're kind of grumpy and you're not smiling. That comes out in your voice. Whether you think it does or it doesn't, it comes out in your voice. So when I answer the phone and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" and I'm positive and I'm smiling, then they are feeling that vibe. When I answer the phone, I'm, "Hello. Yeah, I have light bulbs in stock." Okay, right? Something like that. It's so very different. You can tell the vibe. People are going to follow your vibe. So if you're positive, they're going to be positive. If you're just blah, they're going to be blah. And I'm not going to hound on it again, but you got to keep your social media positive and be active on your social media. I talked about this at the beginning too, but using mantras, so helpful. You could say, this is one of my favorite. I am going to recruit 5 team members this month, right? Or whatever your goal is. I am going to recruit. I am the most amazing recruiter there is out there. Everyone wants to join my team. Sounds so stupid, but the more you tell yourself these things, that's what you start to believe. The end. Realistically, that's really what it is. So by saying these mantras, you become more confident, and eventually you will become what you were saying. You're a little premature. You may not be the most awesome recruiter yet, but you keep telling yourself you are, and you will become that. I promise. Visualize where you want to be. Make a vision board. If you are struggling right now, go back and make a vision board. I used to have one on my phone because that's what I see most often. And this is when I was actually trying to earn the trip. And so I had this screensaver for the very longest time because I wanted that trip, and that was a constant reminder. That was like my visualization. That was my vision board. So whether it's on your phone or it's on a piece of paper in your office or a cardboard box, whatever, I want you to visualize, and I want you to draw a picture of where you want your Scentsy business to take you. And believe in yourself, just like we talked about at the beginning with your recruits and how they might be fearful and they might not think they can do it. I know we've all, from time to time, had this same problem with us, right? Maybe right now you're going through it. Maybe last week, maybe a year, whatever. But I can promise you, you've all gone through it where you don't believe in yourself. And I was that girl. I doubted everything. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are no different than anyone else. Everyone else is feeling the exact same way. Everyone else is out there just trying to earn the trip, just like you are. You guys may do it differently than the other person, but ultimately you're all going for the same prize, right? So let it go. Let your fear go and be brave, be courageous, get out there, talk to people, push yourself, have your kids help you, for Pete's sake. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. So before I open it up for questions, I'm going to leave you with this mantra, and I'll post it for you on the Facebook page in case you want to say it. But this is one of my favorites. So I work my business to make a difference in my life and the life of others. My job is to sell products, but my main goal is to inspire people. I believe in helping others succeed. I sell products I'm passionate about, and I lead by example. I understand that helping others succeed is the key to my own success. And that is so true. I can't motivate you, but I'll do everything in my power I can to inspire you. So make sure you are getting out there and helping others succeed and helping yourself succeed. So with that, I'm going to open it up for any questions that you guys have, comments, anything on anything. It doesn't have to be on this topic. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night then. And I thank you guys so much for being on this call, even though I barely reminded you guys this morning. Mark your calendars for the next training call. It's the second Tuesday of every month at 6:30 Mountain Time. So the next call will be, we'll be good. July 10th, right? Because we go to the 16th. Yep, July 10th. That's the week that right before we go to Cincy Family Reunion. So that will be our next call. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll chat with you later. Bye.